Hi. The verse in devotion for today comes out of Matthew 27, and it's going to start with verse 32 and go all the way through verse 44. But the key verse, for today is verse 40. And this is actually talking about the crucifixion today of Jesus. And it says, "And saying, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." The thing is these people had no clue. They had no idea what they were doing. They had no idea who they were dealing with. But to their advantage, it's the best way I know how to put it, God knew that. God knew that they didn't know. God knew that they were ignorant of what was going on. I don't think it truly hit some of them until like the earthquake and the darkness hit, that they had actually killed Jesus Christ, the Son of God. I don't think it hit them until then, that, wow, we made a real big mistake here. But this is what that particular verse, it's talking about. You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God. And what Jesus meant by that when he said it back in previous chapters was that he was going to die, but 3 days later raise from the dead. And that was the temple he was talking about. And they were taking it in a physical sense and not a spiritual sense. So again, they just didn't understand. There are many things in life we don't understand. We don't get it, but God does. And you just have to sit back and be patient and wait and pray and read the word and just trust that his promises are true and that he's got it. He's going to take care of it, because he always does. Regardless whether you like the answer or not, he's got it. So let me finish and read the rest of this. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall. And I wasn't sure what gall was, so I looked it up, and it just says it has it's known for its bitter taste. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. I can imagine. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. And I looked that up, and because I've always heard that it was a form of gambling, and technically they said it's like a roll of the dice. They would just kind of like, they were just randomly trying to figure out who would get it, who would get his clothes. Verse 36, and sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed the written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. So they put criminals up and next to him. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. He saved others, they said, but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, "I am the Son of God." In the same way, the robbers who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. They not only beat him to a pulp and spit on him, put the crown of thorns on his head. By this time, he's hung on the cross with nails through his hands and his feet. And they're still relentless, not letting up. But he knew that they didn't understand what they were doing. And he loved them regardless. And he cared about them. And I believe his love for all of us held him on that cross that day. Just an unwavering, unconditional love that he knew that we needed. That I will forever be grateful for. We need to treat people with that kind of love, because when you stop and you think about it, there are many times that we don't mean to do what we do. We're wrong, and we just need somebody to forgive us and love us and let it go and move on. Think about that today. Remember that today. Lord, help us to love like you love, God. Help us to love like you love. Help us to see people the way you see people, God. Let it transform us, Jesus. Let your love transform us. Amen. Have a good day.